Serious people who did a long time, 5 years plus, in prison. What was your biggest shock of the outside world? You forget about the details of things. Like the way carpet feels on the bottoms of your feet. What it feels like to shower completely alone and without flip-flops on. In prison you have a certain number of smells that you're exposed to every day. Think of them as the first page in a book. But when you get out you have the rest of the book available. It's a lot to take in all at once. With social media and everything. There's the acknowledgement of the passage of time. When I got locked up I left a lot of friends and family behind and did 3 years on my own. No visitors, no calls, no mail. When I got out it was a trip to get on Facebook and Instagram and see how everyone I was ever close to had moved on with their lives. Having kids, getting married, getting fat, losing weight, starting and quitting jobs, falling out with each other, some even passing away. People think about a prisoner doing time but don't understand that the time does them. You are frozen in it while you're stuck in a constant loop of the same day every day. The rest of the world moves on without you. When you get home, you feel left behind. It's an anxious panic to catch up after that. Without flip-flops on, man, this one killed me. It felt so weird to stand barefoot in a shower. It took weeks before I was able to tell my brain that this was okay and that it wasn't disgusting and I wasn't standing in a puddle of someone else's diseased babies. My anxiety was pretty bad while I was in there, but it oddly worsened when I got out. That first cigarette and shower were godly. Never realize how much you miss a shower head and good water pressure. I did 6 years. My biggest shock was finding out you can't do much of anything without a smartphone. Companies don't even do paper applications anymore. They don't have TV in there that lets you keep culturally abreast to some extent. Oh, of course. We got basic cable and I was aware of the new technology, but I had no idea everyone was that dependent on it. Huh, yeah. I imagine you can't really tell how culturally pervasive something is until you're swimming in it. Just money in general. You have no idea how to handle money. That takes a little time to get used to. For my cousin, it was the Gamma Boy Advance. This was a while ago, 2006 or so. My cousin, who'd been in prison for about 10 to 15 years, was finally getting out, so me and a bunch of the family went to pick him up. Then go get breakfast at some diner. I was just a little kid at the time, so I was playing with my Gamma Boy Advance while we were at the restaurant. I'll never forget how much the game I was playing blew my cousin's mind. He saw it and immediately said, "Holy shit. What is that? Look at those graphics. Oh my god. That's insane." His sister, "Are you seeing this shit?" To me, it was just some Star Wars game. But to my cousin, it was the future. It's actually through video games that me and him bonded a lot. I would tell him about or show him new stuff in the gaming industry and he would tell me stories about the games he would play. Growing up, Game Boy Advance wasn't really even the pinnacle of graphics at that time too. Haha, I know. I remember telling him this isn't even that great. Just wait until you see the other games I have at home. And he basically told me that he didn't see how games could look better. LMAO. Did you show him? What was his reaction? The first game we played when we got home was NFL Street 2 and Burnout Revenge. So nothing that impressive. I also remember telling him about the PS3 like it was some fabled console that would be the pinnacle of video game graphics. My brother served a little over 3 years, but the morning we picked him up we stopped by a grocery store to let him grab some snacks. He's walking back to the car with this stunned look on his face, and finally as he gets to us, he goes, "I felt like I was on an acid trip. I haven't seen that many colors in so long. I need to sit down. This is so fucking true. Driving down the road looks like a cartoon world at first." I work in jail, but when talking to a lifer who was about to go out on parole, I tried explaining smartphones, which blew his mind. Then I described Pokemon Go, and he thought I was just messing with him. He got angry that I would make S up. I wonder if he's running around playing Pokemon Go now. Imagine explaining that summer where everyone was playing Pokemon Go and getting into trouble over it. Right. One clever inmate got a friend of his to photocopy his whole Magic the Gathering collection and sent it in via letters, so he was able to play while inside without costing an arm and a leg. Damn. That is so blessed. I have done 5+ years in prison. I was mostly amazed by smart TVs, with Netflix and browsers directly in the TV, and the 4G internet speeds blew my mind as well. Just hold on. 5G is coming. 5G is already out. Most of it right now is basically cranked up 4G though, and they are just calling it 5G or 5GE. Misleading. My father was incarcerated from 2003 to 2016 and the biggest shock for him was technology and how much McDonald's has raised prices. LMAO. Man. I'm kinda at the fuck McDonald's point. I have lived on that S for most of my life and I will always have a soft spot for a 1 AM McDouble. But it's pricey enough at this point that much better tasting options are available for the same cost. A meal at McDonald's costs almost as much as a meal at Five Guys. Lunch at McDonald's costs like $11 to $14 here. Burger King is like $8. And the drive-through lines are always insane. I'll eat garbage. Don't worry about it. I won't pay $14 to eat garbage. And I certainly am not going to pay $14 and sit in my car for 30 minutes for garbage. Jesus. Are you eating at the McDonald's in the Smithsonian? My father was a counselor in a state prison for 12+ years. He told me the inmates would often talk about wanting to feel their body submerged in water, taking a bath, swim, etc. There are only showers, so that feeling up being weightless, floating, submerged was something these men would fantasize about. This is so sad and something I've never considered about incarceration. There's something so innocent and innately human about the desire to jump in a river on a hot day or to take a warm bath in the middle of winter. I also wonder if an increased desire to feel their body submerged is because it's sort of a freeing sensation, which is opposite to the reality of their lives in prison. I would say you're right. It does feel freeing, and you're able to put yourself in a different place. It's haunting to me to think someone could go years, or in some circumstances, the rest of their life, and never feel this sensation again. Just got out. Weirdest thing was seeing all these damn scooters laying everywhere. That's weird to all of us. So say we all. I know a guy who did 2 to 3 years I think, and I worked construction with him. I asked him what is the biggest thing that stands out to you now that you're free. He simply said, the fact that I'm here with you, that I can physically walk over there to that field 500 meters away without anybody or any wall stopping me. I did 4 years. The day I got out my uncle took me to Walmart to get everything I needed. I went off by myself to get the things on my list. First I went to the lotion aisle. I was looking at all the lotion and became so overwhelmed by all the choices. Dry skin, healing, scented, etc. In there I had no choices and was given what I needed. Having all these options overwhelmed me. I gave my list to my uncle to get it for me. It was really hard to go out in public for a while. The first night I tried sleeping in a dark bedroom like I did before prison, but couldn't do it. My dad slept on the living room couch with the TV on, so I slept on the other couch. I needed to sleep around people and noise for a while until I got used to being alone again. I was surprised because one of the things I missed the most was sleeping in a dark, quiet room, alone in a comfortable bed. For a long time I slept with my arm or a pillow over my head because of noise and bugs. Bugs. Where did you time, if you mind me asking? State is good enough. USA. Everyone is hiding food everywhere and dropping crumbs and is depressed. Yeah. Bugs. I interned at a private criminal defense firm. The most notable shock of any of our released clients had to be one man who in prison for 16 years, odd amount because he was paroled as part of plea deal. He had a daughter who was just a child at the time he was incarcerated, and when he got out, she had just had a baby, his first grandchild. She didn't tell him about the pregnancy beforehand. She wanted it to be a surprise upon his release. I wasn't there when our old client met his newest family member or his now adult daughter. But when he came in a few months later, he still couldn't talk about the new baby without crying happy tears. He had a picture in his wallet of his daughter when she was little he brought with him to prison. and showed us the new picture of his grandchild he keeps with it now. Second chance to be a pop.